This is Alabama's 13 News at 10, where accuracy matters.
We're so glad to have you with us this Sunday evening. I'm Hillary Golston. Thanks again for joining us. Our top story just into our newsroom. West Precinct officers just told us minutes before the newscast they are on the scene of an active fire at a home on 1st Avenue West. And we don't know any of the specifics. We have a crew headed there right now, and we will make sure to bring you updates as soon as we have any information. Meanwhile, Birmingham police have now stepped in to figure out what has caused blaze after blaze after blaze in Birmingham over the past several days. And they told me this afternoon they might be hot on the trail of a suspect. Firefighters were out again early this morning, putting 2 of them out. We had word the last 6 fires might be the work of arsonists, but we're not sure if those last 2 are as well. Both fires happened in the Inslee community. This one was at the 2400 block of Avenue S. Crews rushed to the scene before 4 this morning to douse these flames. Firefighters were busy at this scene as well, the intersection of Inslee Avenue and 30th Street. There you are looking at it now. Crews couldn't tell if the structures were abandoned. Well, we first told you about the 6 fires last night, maybe started by someone, and the 2 more this morning. We'll do the math. That makes at least 8 fires in the same area in half of a week. Again, fire investigators aren't saying the last 2 are connected to the other half dozen, though. Friday night, Birmingham firefighters put out 3 fires. At around 1 in the morning, they responded to a fire at an abandoned apartment building. They had to put out 2 more fires yesterday morning. Since Thursday, Birmingham firefighters have fought 6 fires at abandoned buildings. We're not counting the 2 fires in Inslee this morning. Investigators say all of the blazes might add up to someone intentionally setting these buildings on fire.
Hillary Golston is live in Inslee tonight. Hillary, have police made any arrests in this case yet?
Mike, I just checked in on that late this afternoon, and Birmingham police tell me they haven't arrested anyone yet, but they are hot on the trail of a possible suspect. Now, there have been 8 of these fires at abandoned structures since Friday and 12 since the 9th of this month. Well, as you can imagine, that makes people living around here pretty worried.
Nothing to do. That's for ungodly peoples, man. Just come up and burn down the old abandoned houses. And every time I leave and go to work and I come back and I see another house being burned, you know, and I say, Lord, what's going on?
And that's the question Birmingham fire investigators are asking now. Birmingham police are adding their investigative expertise to catch the potential culprit or culprits. Alabama's 13 can confirm more than a half dozen fires on the west side of town since Friday. One close enough to this citizen to put her on a 5-alarm alert.
And our house can actually catch a fire, and then what if we, get trapped in or can't get out, or, and then that's my biggest fear.
And a woman actually stopped us on the west side of town. She waved us down, put her hand in the air and said, "Stop here and talk to me. I am living in fear." There's an incredible story like that, plus a woman who claims something incredible about an abandoned home that's right near her. We'll have that part of the story coming your way at 6 o'clock tonight. For now, we're live on the west side of Birmingham. Hillary Golston, Alabama's 13 News.
Hillary Golston is live in Inslee now with an update for us. Hillary?
Well, police are working furiously now to catch whoever did this, and this is why. It's a telltale sign. This home is burned down to the ground, and authorities say it was the first one that burned back on the 9th of this month. But guess what? There have been 8 since Friday, and now people are doing the math around here. They say there are 7,000 homes all across the city that need to be torn down. That makes a lot of them very cautious. Fire after fire after fire. Crews rushing to douse the flames. There's fear on the west side of Birmingham. They may not be able to work fast enough.
The house that I live next door to is a vacant house, and I have 3 grandkids, and I'm scared. I'm scared that this house next.
And this is the abandoned home that our neighbor is talking about, who does not want to go on camera. Understandably, she doesn't want to be identified because she is afraid. She says that if that first abandoned home catches fire, she doesn't know what could happen to her house.
It's so close to my house to where my house can burn.
Right around the corner from her in the 1700 block of 29th Street, Inslee, the latest blaze woke citizens at the break of dawn this morning.
Came outside and I saw about 4 or 5 trucks, the ambulance, and the paramedics, and I was just amazed because I didn't hear anything during the night.
Look at the list of 12 fires since the 9th of this month. You'll see it's the nighttime when investigators think arsonists began setting abandoned buildings ablaze.
Whoever doing this, you need to find you something to do, because burning up houses, man, it's childish.
Police are hot on the trail of a potential suspect, but they haven't figured out why someone would do such a thing.
What if we, get trapped in or can't get out, or, and then that's my biggest fear is when it comes to, your own family getting trapped into a home.
A worry fire investigators want to squelch. And the incredible thing about this fire is that there is a neighbor here who alleges there was a homeless man staying inside of this home and that he threatened to kill her and then burn down this house. The next day, this home went up in flames. You can understand why police are working very hard to find and capture someone in this case. We're live in Birmingham on the west side. I'm Hillary Golston, Alabama's 13 News. We've got an early Council Extra for you tonight. The fires on the west side of Birmingham lit by an arsonist or arsonists led the mayor to declare an emergency. You might recall that. Now he's asking for cash to tear down the abandoned structures, starting with the ones that are already burned. This Tuesday, he's asking the Birmingham City Council to put up a whopping $1.5 million towards getting rid of those vacant buildings. He wants to take the money from the city's emergency rainy day fund, also called the Birmingham Fund. Tonight at 10, we're going to go in depth here and recap the twists and turns in this arson case, including investigators' pursuit of the culprits.
Maybe we can too.
The city council approved 200 homes for teardown today. A start, one woman says. She lives a few doors down from where police say an arsonist torched this house.
Whoever it was that was burning up these houses, I don't know how they felt about these empty houses just being here. And I think that's a pretty good idea for them to just tear these houses down.
Building the homes back up instead of tearing them down is one of the mayor's plans. He says the time is now, but the move isn't meant to egg someone on.
Saying someone might think that in order to get houses torn down in our community, we've got to torch houses. And this is an ongoing issue that we have to take every opportunity we can to deal with.
In this case, red means go, not stop. Those signs on homes mean that they are ready to be torn down, and there are 1,700 like that all across the city.
She died with us trying to remove those houses right there by the railroad track around from Little Korea. She could hear the people in there all times of day and night. We begged and begged and begged and begged to get it down, and it's still there.
On the other hand, some city leaders think the situation is bad, but perhaps not bad enough to use rainy day funds.
Demolition is not an emergency item. In this case, the emergency is to catch the arsonist. That's the emergency.
Catching the culprit. There's no dissent among leaders or citizens on that. And the price tag for tearing down just one home, that's $3,000. Let's do the math again. 7,000 vacant homes. The total bill would be $21 million to demolish all abandoned homes in the city. Mayor William Bell says the biggest economic boost to the city comes from rehabbing those homes and then putting them back on the marketplace. Also last night, Birmingham police arrested someone for arson after a tip that someone was throwing gasoline on a home, but the person authorities caught, they believe, is not the arsonist responsible for a dozen West Side fires. Officials have a 21-year-old man behind bars now. He was arrested near the site of this alleged crime. That's the 1600 block of Avenue I. No word if anyone was living inside of that house, but police say this case appears to be an isolated incident. And Birmingham police had to make another arson arrest, and it was one of their own. A Birmingham police officer is now on leave, waiting for the outcome of an investigation. The important facts: Curtis Thornton is charged with arson. Thornton is accused of setting fires in Warrior. That's along the Jefferson-Blount County line. And while Thornton has not been charged for the fires in Inslee, Kalisha Whitman says the Birmingham Police Department's search has now narrowed.